Well, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Solare. We are here once again with Team Veerity after quite a while. And today is actually a very special episode as we're all here together in person. Yay!
In person, dude. Scheduling's crazy.
Yeah, so enjoy our banter as we prepare for what is going to be another twisted episode. Another interesting episode. So let's dive right in. Previously, Team Veerity had arrived in Soul Edge, where they were thrust into the seemingly religious hellscape that is the Church of Soul and its followers. Here in Soul Edge, they said their goodbyes to Duskbringer as she stowed away on an outgoing ship. From then, they took a night's rest and explored the city partially, and the next day, they were stocked on some supplies and tried to figure out what their next move was while they were still in Veerity. However, not before attending to Ricard's reason for coming along with Team Veerity. Together, the group ventured into the Church of Soul, where they found Ricard's desired target, which was a sword that had been stowed in a central statue of Soul in the church's main hall. However, discourse began to sow itself amongst the party, as Oni Pam, having viewed the sword firsthand, had begun to relive some haunting memories. She and Ricard were at odds, even if they did not know it right away. The group, with Ricard, tried devising several strategies for pulling the sword loose without being caught by the tight security in the church. And after much stipulation and thinking, Ricard's patience began to wane as he devised the strategy himself. However, after having failed in his attempt, Ricard's last resort came to diversion tactics, as he enveloped the statue in darkness and slipped the sword out amongst the chaos. Ricard was seen by the group with the sword sprinting out of the church, and they began to chase after him. Meanwhile, Onipam and Lilith, having been apart from the rest of the group during this time, viewed the chaos from outside. Onipam knew what must be done, even if it meant having to betray her party members, as she sought to bring Ricard to justice for his crime. At this point, with Onipam gone, the party reconvened outside the church with a new face, as Ricard was no more and had now emerged as Emil. Together, they escaped outside of Soul Edge into the surrounding woods, with little idea of what to do next. From here, it was decided that Lilith would attempt to go and reconcile with Onipam in hopes of bringing her back to the party, while the others stay hidden. So, here we begin. It is now the evening of Nieves II. Lilith, you have returned to within the confines of the city. The last you saw Onipam, she was heading back in the direction towards the church. The streets are now heavily patrolled with guards on high alert at every corner.
Alright, I will try to go to the last known location where Onipam was.
Okay. Are you obviously trying to get sneaky with your...
Not necessarily because of the fact that the whole commotion, I wasn't part of it.
Very true.
So, I'm just technically also was a victim to this thing too. So, why would they expect a person? So I have nothing to fear about it.
Alright, so you're just gonna stretch your way up to the church?
Yeah.
Alright.
Much as a snake lady can sprout up.
So, yeah, you begin just walking down one of the main streets, and you are stopped by some guards who are just patrolling along. Excuse me, ma'am. You do know that we are under high surveillance right now. There is a curfew.
Yeah, I'm just currently looking for somebody. We got separated earlier with the whole commotion. I guess I haven't found her yet.
Do you know where she might be?
Last that I saw her, she was here in the church. I've been searching, but I haven't found her.
They kind of look to each other. The church is under very high lockdown right now. Are you sure she's not somewhere else?
I mean, that was the last place I saw her, so I was hoping to see if I could find something of her whereabouts.
Do you know what this woman or girl might look like?
Interesting. I never specified what
Oh,
gender they.
you said she is.
Oh, okay. But yeah. She is a small fairy-like creature.
They look to each other again. We did have one small fairy girl who approached us earlier amongst the chaos. Said she may know a thing or two. Are you two related in some way?
I'm kind of her guardian.
Or guardian?
We had our we went on a trip together, and so I'm kind of her guardian for this trip alone.
And you roll deception.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. You do that.
Wait, I'm pretty sure DM good at those. Yeah, doesn't really matter. 18.
They look to each other once more. Very well. If you claim that you're her guardian, we can take you to her. So, with that, you join these two guards who lead you into the church. Church doesn't look really any different from when you first saw it earlier in the day. Obviously, the only difference is the statue is missing the sword. But otherwise, besides that, it's just pretty much filled to the brim with guards kind of at every entrance. There are a number of guards who are surrounding this central statue as well. But these two in particular guards who you first talked to, they lead you down, and they lead you down sort of the, if you remember my drawing from last time, there was the big circle room, and they lead you down the right hallway.
Well, you take this many damage.
Yeah, so they take you down the hallway. Down the hallway, there are a number of different doors that lead to different things. You can kind of see into some of them. Some of them look like sleeping quarters for some of the bishops of the church. Another one looks like a mess hall or something like that. And then there's just a couple of like study halls maybe, as well as like some small little prayer rooms as well. At the end of the hallway, they take you down a flight of stairs, and this part of the church is much different than the upper level. This one is much more not as well lit, first and foremost. It's very, very like old stone brick, and very tight, narrow hallways. Can I have you make a history check?
11.
Okay. You don't know why this would be. The best you can infer is that maybe this was like part of the church before it was like all fancy like it is right now. But yeah. So they lead you down a couple of hallways, and eventually you guys stop at a small room, and inside you can hear Onipam talking to someone. The guards will step aside, and they'll just say, "He should be in here, but please be very courteous. He's currently talking to the head bishop."
Okay, well, thank you.
Right.
I open the door, unless they open it for me.
No, they're gone. So yeah, you open the door. Inside, you see basically a tight little, almost what looks like to be like a, not really a classroom, but like one of those study rooms I kind of talked about. Just a little kind of desk in between Onipam and the bishop, as well as like a couple of bookshelves on either wall, stuff like that. But you see Onipam sitting on one side of the desk, and she's talking to what looks to be a tall Asimar with a sort of pale white, glowing skin. He's kind of got a large built, and obviously he's kind of towering over Onipam.
As they do.
Are you talking about the laundry?
Mm-hmm.
And standing right next to the head bishop is actually the commander of the guards that Onipam first sought out last time. Onipam, you see the door swing open to reveal Lilith.
Onipam. It looks very distressed, even though she may have been like calmly talking to the captain of the guard and the bishop. Onipam looks ruffled. She just kind of looks up and kind of like surprise, but even just a little bit like a fear almost too. She looks over at Lilith.
No, let's see, it's Onipam. Gives a gentle smile. It's just like, what happened? Is there a problem?
You came back?
Why wouldn't I come back?
I thought that everyone was gonna leave me behind. And Onipam looks away.
We are friends, Onipam. We have established that. I don't leave friends behind.
Well, then hopefully you understand why I had to do this.
There are things that I don't comprehend people doing. Everyone has their own reasons to do so. And so, even though I don't think this is the correct decision, I'm not going to stop you from doing so.
I'm sorry. Who might you be?
I'm her guardian.
The bishop is going to look to you.
That's right. Lilith not only is my guardian, but I'm just gonna look back over, kind of like a light restoring in her eyes a little bit. And a friend. We were both used in Ricard's plan for getting the sword. She was one of the team members that also didn't know about his plan.
Is this true? Oh.
Holy fam. We are already starting the...
for this.
Yes. Yep. This is it.
Lilith let out a sigh. Yes.
Onipe, please recount your party members' plan to us once more, as well as for your friend here.
Sits up in chair. So what I understood from the plan at the beginning, it seemed that Ricard was only interested in the statues of Soul. I thought that the reason he wanted to come to this place was because he wanted to see the statues. And it wasn't until I figured out that it was the sword of... not Agris. Sargrim. The sword of Sargrim that was his true objective. And then as soon as I figured out that it wasn't about the statue and that he wanted the sword, I left the church because I was afraid and angry. And then when I had heard that something had happened in the church, I knew he must have done something. And like I mentioned before, I was worried about the others, and seeing that Lilith came back, I understand that they were also in the dark about his plan as well.
I see. Well, you made the correct decision by telling us. What do you suppose is his next move? Either.
I will remain silent.
Hey, he said that it was needed to go back to where it belonged, to its previous owner. Somewhere back in that one spot on the map that's all red. Is that place Argris? Argrim? Sargrim! I'm getting there. I can't pull up the map. My measly phone. I think he's not going to be going back to the Dawn Striders, and I don't even know if his affiliation there is real either. So either he's keeping it for himself or he's bringing it back to Sargrim. Would have to be what I'd guess. I didn't stay there for much of the planning and talking about because he didn't seem interested in answering any of our questions.
You say he's returning it to its previous owner. Its previous owner was Amelia Sargrim herself, but she's been dead for countless number of years.
Upon hearing the name, Onipem's gonna put her hand on her head, kind of shake a little bit, and oh, I know that, but I just, with that sword being out, I don't want it being returned anywhere except back here and safer.
I understand. And I agree. A sword must return. We don't know what it's capable of, even if it has been so long. We'll make contact with your guild, and we can have your guild master try and sort this out for us, as well as decide what to do with your group. We'll return you to Eden in the morning.
Pam's gonna look over at Lilith.
Is that all we're here for? Is that all?
Pam's going to nod. As long as I don't have to think about that sword, and I can get back to being safe, and I'd be happy to go back to Eden. After all, our true mission was completed.
That is factual.
All right. Lilith, so after you guys are all done talking, they escort you and Oni Pam to a room kind of on the other side of the church. Is there anything you want to do to maybe get in contact with the rest of the party? Or are you just gonna lay low and hope that they figure it out?
I know full fact that if I don't say anything, they're just gonna leave anyway. So I don't. In my mind, it's just like, if I don't get into contact with them, they already know that to just leave without us. So in my head, I'm just like, all right, that means I don't have to make contact with them to tell them to leave because of the thing that we had beforehand. So me not making contact is a way for me to contact them already.
I get you. Okay. Now that the two of you are in the room together, is there anything you'd like to talk about? The bishop and the guard are gone. You guys are pretty secluded in this room, so.
So you want to elaborate why right now was when you decided to talk to the guards?
Remember before we got here, when we were still with Night Lady, and I blew Solare with the wind?
Hey, yo!
I couldn't remember what the spell was called. What's the spell called? Oh no!
Gust of wind.
Gust of wind. Is that what it's supposed to called?
Hey,
Oh man!
Summonor's a victim.
God damn!
Careful on the third watch.
Could have been any other wording.
I couldn't remember because I was going to my link paper. That's gonna be important. Anyways, Oni Pam's under a lot of stress right now. Man, you hate to see it. Anyways, yeah, you probably don't remember that, but do you remember that time where I woke up from that really bad dream?
Yeah, I do remember something like that.
Thank goodness you remember that.
I I didn't pry beforehand since you seem very stressed, but I was gonna ask you about it at some point.
I feel like it wasn't a dream, but a vision, especially with how things were going now. It was like experiencing that battle and then seeing the sword again. I just don't know who I am. Only Pam's gonna like look at her shield with that has the symbol for the Traders Guild on it.
Well, I mean, life is a journey to figure out who you are. And not all answers are going to be linear. Sometimes they're very vague on one of those answers.
It's not like going to the guards was my first option. Wanted to see if everyone was safe, but just knowing what that sword had done to me before, I got scared. And do you remember the first mission that we had as a group?
About fighting the Nyctogens?
After the Nyctogens, when we finally made the glow dragons.
When we went to look for the last shipment?
Pam's gonna shake her head no. The first mission we went on, it's been out on my mind ever since, was when we went to that village and we fought those bandits and returned the goods back. It seems like things are going in a circle, because after that, I had the same dream that I had before this happened. Like, my memories are starting to go backwards. And so, when I realized that Ricard wanted to take from this place, I just felt even more confused.
Well, it's a very interesting concept because, at least for the people from our current party right now, have very strong feelings about this location that we are in right now, including myself. And even though I've been protecting the group per se, I'm also technically not the best person. But obviously, there are some exceptions to that ruling of my own that I deem worthy for me to try to protect myself. It's a very interesting concept, at least. There always have been gray areas in this world. Not everything is always going to be black and white. Things are always left to be able to change.
Well, in this situation, I definitely think you're a lot better person than I have. And ever since we've gotten to Veerity, I guess this journey really has been showing me that, unlike with the glow dragons, things haven't been black and white. We've let Honeypan will glance up at the door, not specifically to check, but just looking over at it. I've helped prisoners escape, but that felt like the right thing to do, even though they were prisoners. And in this situation, we were stealing from here. And
I mean, do you want me to elaborate where my hatred of this country comes from?
Honeypan will kind of look up and surprised at you saying that and like nod.
A bit of my hatred for this country comes from the fact of how they treat their criminals. The fact that people doing minor crimes can be casted out to the tundra and just be left for dead. It's an interesting concept itself. But when those criminals band together and make their own city and live and decide to live, those said guards coming back to that city and claiming it as their own. It just leaves a nasty taste in my mouth. Is that justice? Would you consider that justice when they were already outcast?
Maybe Pam's gonna look down. Is this something you've had to experience?
I had to experience something in similar vein. I had to experience that in first hand and reasons why I went to Eden. Not because of I was a criminal, but the fact I was taken care of in that city, they just branded me as a criminal at that point in time. And so even just trying to leave, they tried to detain me.
So I guess that experience that you mentioned, I guess in this situation, I'd be no different than the guards that you mentioned.
But as I said before, not everything is black and white. There's always left for change. Because the person that made that country, I mean, not that country, but that city itself, wasn't known he was known for his crimes, but he was known for specifically doing non-lethal crimes, but making them very obnoxiously known to our country. But as soon as he was found out, he was caught and left for dead. But he decided to live on. He made that city. And that person is my father.
Pam's gonna like look up in surprise.
He is now currently detained in his own city that he made, where he wanted to change, just live on, and be happy. Now detained once again, even though he was already an outcast.
Pam's gonna like put her hand to her head, look away. I get the analogy you're making and what you're trying to tell me, but every time I think of that blade, it feels like in any other case, at any other time, I would have been able to do something different, but... Pam's gonna like shake her head.
Like I said, answers are not made in a day. It could come, the answer could come to you later in months, years, or, but it's not something to dwell on. It's just knowing that an answer will come eventually. It should be comforting.
Pam's going to breathe in and then breathe out. Then there's one last thing I want to do. Pam's going to pull out her link paper. She's going to write a message on it to the one and only Sylvie. Just kidding, not Sylvie, it's her card. Pam is going to write out, "Is that sword worth the journey and memories you've gone on with your companions?" ?
And with that, we will change perspectives to Silmanar and Ricard. Now Emil as well. I guess Cena's there with you guys.
And Cena.
Yeah. So I take it we've already found our spot.
Yes.
Flashback.
You've found a spot in the woods. You've set up a very small makeshift camp. You have been careful not to make a fire right now, not to alert maybe anyone who might be in pursuit of you. So you guys are kind of bumming it out in the cold, at least for the time being. And yeah, what it is that you guys would like to discuss?
First of all, I'll notice the cold and okay, I should at least be able to deal with this a little bit, and I'll do Liam's tiny hut so that we can be both discreet and comfortable.
Okay.
So after setting that up, I'll look over to Neil. Go. So what was that about? You said you were going to tell me about it later. Did you not get what you were going for?
I bring out the sword, and it's half a sword.
Oh, well, yeah, that'd be it. Do you think it's somewhere else in the town?
I don't fucking know. I'm one lead, and it was to this fucking place. And this is what I get from it. You know what? While we're sitting here, just out of fuck it, I'm gonna try tuning to it.
Yeah.
Because why the fuck not? It's still something. So while we're sitting here chatting,
Talking about that.
They're doing the thing!
Yeah, we already broke the camp.
Okay. I feel like that is my
Well, first, okay.
If you return to your broken sword.
All right, Ricard, Emil, whatever your name is.
you're
You take out the sword. Is there anything specific you're trying to do to attune to it?
just thinking about journey went on to get this thing, and just the thought of looking for the other half. And the stupidity of Jinx asking me why is it only one half? And I'm like, motherfucker, you showed me the sword.
Right. You take the sword, grasp it tightly, and you close your eyes. And you start to feel a weird presence from the sword. Just kind of slowly filtering into you, some sort of weird, not magic necessarily, just some weird energy. And you start to get visions of being deep underwater. You find yourself just floating in the middle of a body of water. You're not really sure where, but you open your eyes and you're just floating there. You hear the voice of Jinx in your head. The other half, feeling deep in a lake. And then Jinx's voice kind of fades off, and the voice kind of fades into a different voice. Much more soothing, yet firm voice. Bring it to me, and I will rid this world of all its evils.
Is it a woman's voice?
It is a woman's voice. I will start what I had done in the past, and this time I will finish. But I need the sword. Bring it to me. Your vision ends with the body of water surrounding you, kind of come falling down, like flooding out basically. As you open your eyes, you're back in a tiny hut, and you feel sort of a pulse from the sword, and you are now attuned to it.
So all I know is a lake. Alright.
In every episode, Ricard wants to go swimming.
Each episode. R2.
Was there maybe, like, did it feel like he was there, or was he just perceiving it? Like he was just seeing it?
He was just perceiving.
Okay, it wasn't like he could be like, oh, was it cold? Was it warm?
Was it a bathtub?
Although, Similar, while he was attuning, you could see the sword start to faintly glow as the energy that I talked about kind of started rushing up his arm a little bit. It was a very faint, like, blackish, bluish energy.
I just kind of sit up a bit, just kind of make sure that there's nothing happening. I've heard stories. I kind of look at it, see if there's any like fairy tale kind of black veins start showing or whatever.
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
After I tune to it, if I think about the other half, do I get a sense of a direction?
Not if you think about it, but you hold your sword out and you kind of use it as like a compass.
So it's like a dowsing rod.
Let's
go!
And it's pointing back westward.
Yeah. Like straight west or
It'd be more southwest.
southwest? Is it like south by southwest or
Kind of just directly southwest.
directly south by?
So
The rest of the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
The rest of the
honestly, if I look at where we are and like go directly southwest, it cuts out like half the continent. So
True, that's true. Hold on, I need to find the like.
is
let's say like like that. I don't know if you can see that line.
oh, you want Owlbear?
Yeah.
Oh, give me a second.
I can't look there.
Oh yeah.
Where do you see the full map?
Well,
Going to Owlbear.
yeah. Well, but it's also posted in notes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot my name was Hit List Only Time.
Fair.
I saw the launch for like half a second.
Yeah.
Those things are good.
There's a lot of maps.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, great.
About notable lakes we would really like to.
Yeah. Things will the line watch that wants to appear.
While that's happening, I'll just kind of see Emil kind of acting a little strange with the sword. Like, are you getting anything out of that?
On where the other path is.
So, what? We're just gonna pick a direction and go?
The sword is guiding me.
All right. That could be on the other side of the continent for all we know.
So, Lenore, do you remember what I promised you when I asked you to join me on this journey?
That you do anything it takes?
And do anything it takes. And also, that I told you that if we get through and succeed at doing what my goals are, we would go down in the history books.
As heroes?
That's a matter of perspective. Because as we know, the victors write history. So, I have this sword. It didn't belong to them. They took it because they won the battle. Who's to say, even though they tell us they were correct, that they were correct?
True.
For all we know, the rest of this continent is full of bullshit. That history has been a lie. That they have rewrote the history that is the reality and fed us lies this entire time. Ever since I left my home country, I've been told that Amelia Sargrim is a tyrant, killer, a murderer. When I've talked to people who have known her personally, she's been nothing but a kind ruler who does what she has to for her people, but always has a smile on her face. That is the exact opposite of what this continent has painted her as.
Okay. Do I believe Emil? And that's basically my way of saying I'd like to insight check. And of course, whatever you're doing. Alright, that is 20, not natural.
25.
Yeah, figured.
As far as you can tell, Emil sounds as true to heart as he can get.
I have my own number of people that I'd like to prove wrong. I'd say this can be one way that I can prove to them that what I am is not some sort of mistake plague on this earth. That by helping you find the other half of this sword that I could do that, then you have my loyalty.
Oh, that was a firm handshake. Only you could see in real life.
Man, you
Some things that I'd like to clear with you, though. Are there certain places on this continent, some figures that we shouldn't upset as to not jeopardize any of your long-standing relationships or loyalties?
As far as I'm aware, because I've just been, already robbed from the church. So if the Dawnstriders care about that, then it's already too late on that.
This is when Cena pipes up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Emil, or Ricard, or whatever you're going by now. I think it would be worth at least going back.
I'm gonna go back, but
What kind of reception?
if it's an unwelcome reception,
I understand that, but if you at least explain the full truth to Mallory.
do you think he'll do it now? he was talking about just, just as much as how she was retiring. Do you think he'll give a damn of one person who just recently joined the Dawn Striders that saying that Amelia is not the person that he's been told his entire life? Do you really think he'll give one single fuck?
I think he'll give a damn if you can prove it to him. You can show him that she still exists in the way that you think.
Don't know if I can.
Well, then that's going to be up to you.
We can always try. And at the end of the day, we can say that we made an attempt.
Yeah.
I've known Mally for all my time that I've been in the Dawn Striders. And I've never known him to be a ruthless soul. I know our situation now looks very bleak, but I know he has faith in all of the members here in the guild. If you can at least be as truthful you are with him as you are right now with us, I'm sure he can find reason in his heart. But you need to be as clear with him as you possibly can. Otherwise, I don't know if you're going to get the support that you want.
I don't know if I'll get the support regardless.
Well, what's our next move then?
No, we'll wait a little longer for Lola. If he doesn't come back, we would have him out.
Very well. With that, the three of you spend at least the night in the woods there, and you don't hear from Lola. So the morning rolls around. No word from anyone. But, yes, sorry, completely. Hello. As you guys are hanging out in the tiny hut, you start to hear scribbling on your piece of paper. You take it out. You read it, and it says, "Is this sword worth the journey and the memories you've made?" You can only assume it was Oni Pan who wrote that.
And I'm just gonna write back. It was worth everything.
Alright. Oni Pan, you get a response fairly quickly. Is there anything you'd like to say back?
Well, it looks like he's definitely set on this sword and returning it to its owner. Onlypan's gonna look over to Lilith. You're the strongest person I know. So, if there was something stronger than you that you knew could defeat you, like that Yeti we ran into, maybe like 3 of them, would you try to avoid it?
Majority of the time when it comes to sizing up a creature, I tend to fight head on. But even in my jurisdiction, when it comes to strength, I don't fight alone. What's a sword without a shield? What's an arrow without its bow? Strength and numbers are a whole different matter itself. I might be one person, but as soon as I'm with other people, I am many.
Pam's gonna look really sad. That's how I felt back when we were adventuring with the glow dragons. Is there anything you want to say to Ricard?
Mm, Not necessarily, since I kind of figured something like this would happen, since the way he approached me, was basically asking for more bodies so he can actually accept this job. He required more people to do this type of job to get to this type of location,
No,
and
no.
I knew beforehand about it. Since the way he asked was, hey, I know you might have your own agendas. I have my own, and I won't ask any questions about it. And obviously this is his way of doing so, which answers my question of what that agenda was. So no, I don't have any questions for him.
Alright. Well,
Since he's, let me put it this way, in a very harsh tone, he just kind of like made, he basically declared war on Veerity itself. But in my honest opinion, I abhor that. Like, I actually enjoy that step that he's taking, because, as I pointed out, I'm also not a big fan of this country either. I'm waiting for its downfall as well.
Pam's gonna look up at you then. And if he's not bringing down the but if he's not bringing down the country, what if he's going to slay me?
Slay you, specifically.
That sword has already killed me before.
When that time comes, then you would have to be with people that can, hopefully protect you again.
Pam's gonna look down at the paper. That didn't answer my question. Just gonna look back up.
You need to gather great allies. Basically created a whole new nation. That was my reasoning of coming here. Gathering more forces, getting more intel on this city alone. Because the corruption doesn't just stem from one nobility. I also want to just take over to make this place better. Reasons why when I say strength in numbers. Well, eventually, if things go the way that they go, then you would have an entire army behind you.
And for probably the first time since you had found Pam talking to the captain of the guard, Pam is going to smile. Then I don't regret what I did. But with all of the analogies you mentioned, I know that though my battle may not be with Ricard. It will be with that sword. And Onipam is going to write on the paper again. Let's see. I'm not after you, but I will be after that ward. They are going to be after you. Also, keep Ricard safe. Wait, no. Keep Solmanor and Cena
Cena.
safe. I looked.
Keep yourself
Yeah,
safe.
keep yourself safe. Bye. There you go. That will be all from Onipam, and she's going to.
Alright. We'll jump once more back to Summoner and Card. Email.
We should change that too.
Okay, so point that's sort that way. Aside from the direction, do you have any other info? I mean, you were staring at that sword.
It's in a lake.
Okay, well that helps. That definitely helps. It'll be kind of tough to triangulate there. We can,
It'll probably just be easier once we get back to Eden.
yeah, get in the middle of everything. You want to wait till midday or nightfall until you want to give up on Lilith coming back?
Let's wait till the morning, just in case.
Alright. Yeah. Morning rolls around. No sign of Lilith.
Well, do you think there was an ambush from Onipam or something prepared?
No.
Oh, so she actually wrote to you. Can I see? Okay, yeah, that response seems makes sense from you. Give everything, and I'm like, yeah, that's on brand.
I'm just gonna, before we head out, I'm just gonna say, thanks for the heads up, but you can have the sword over my dead body.
Love you.
Alright.
And then we start traveling.
Yeah?
Alright,
I will.
I'm not going to do travel.
Yeah.
That's it took fucking forever.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So we'll do a little Batman.
Yeah. I'd say, like, maybe some hand wavy things if we ever get like too close to Soul Edge. I might, or actually no.
We won't be going really by Soul Edge.
Actually no, we're good because I think I did disguise self.
Yeah,
on the
you
way
did.
out.
You did.
Mhm.
You're
You
fine.
did disguise self. I look like a different person entirely.
Yeah, you're
The only person that's the same is Cena.
You got
Yeah.
there you go.
That is also facts.
Exactly.
No, we just forget about her.
Exactly. Plot armor. That's the plot armor.
The guards are like, there were two of them, right? I thought there was three. I don't really know about the third one.
Yeah, so fast travel back to Eden. we will pick up again with Lilith and Onipan. You guys took you about like a week maybe to get back to Eden via boat. And yeah, you guys are with the head bishop as well, and you guys are taken back to Dawn Strider's HQ. First, Mallory talks with the bishop, gets their side of the story, and then he calls the two of you into his office. Do you want to do that, Mallory?
Sure. Well, move.
Give you some
Solare.
talking.
Up through the travel and just.
There. I don't have like more minutes.
So, I mean, if you want, you can look at your character sheet on my laptop.
Oh, I've got
Or-
the character sheet, yeah. I can go between that and Discord. Anything else, and it's like, bleh.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I have to, when I have to fight something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when you have to fight something. Oh, Lilith over here.
What is how Athos made?
Wouldn't be the first time. Actually, it was full sword.
Better than I remember.
All right.
I
So
thought it was longer.
the two of you sit down. Mallory, you can tell he looks very not pissed, but he is much more serious than you've ever seen him.
Sounds like you've been busy.
In a matter of speaking, yes. But we did do our task.
Great. We can sort that out when/if, I suppose, the others get back.
Wait, I have to see them already? Wait, hold on. Are we even sure if they're coming back here? I mean,
Hence the if. I assume Cena will.
oh,
We'll see. But for now, we can talk about everything that happened in Soul Edge.
Is the bishop still in here?
No, it's just the two.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, cool.
Yeah, that's okay.
Same. Fair enough.
Bishop Rahman said everything that happened. Said a little bit of your accounts, but I'm just curious what your thoughts are.
I don't like that sword. I want that sword returned back or kept safer somewhere else. Away from me and where it could potentially get into the wrong hands and come back after me.
Okay. Bishop mentioned you had a dream that caused you to feel this way. What specific pieces were in the dream?
In the dream, there was a battlefield, and I was facing against Emilia Sargrim. And
You were?
well, yes, I was there, and not only was it me and Emilia Sargrim, but the one prince guy, the Prince of Tricks, who's totally in my notes, that guy was also there, that we fought together with the other team in the arena. His name is Alistair.
Alistair?
Yes, Alistair. He was there, And also, the founder of Eden was there as well. I believe whatever their name was. Once again.
Ah, the one from Sargrim, Mora?
That's not. I believe it started with an. Yeah, Mora. Yeah, was the other one. There's so much conversations with me and this guard. That was a horrible idea in hindsight. Yes, Mora, one of the members of the Terra Sneeze Compass.
Hurricane's compass.
Yep, I am. Let's see, and I think that was. Yep, that was everyone. And I lost the battle. I got really slow because I was really bad at fighting with that longsword, and they killed me.
Ah, see what I know.
That's why I tried to learn longsword.
Okay.
I understand now about the longsword.
I understand the longsword.
So, what you're seeing is probably a dream relating to one of the battles of the War of Sargrim Conquest. Now, that was a long time ago. That was about 2,000 years ago. What reason do you have to believe that this could still be a danger?
Well, for one thing, it would be the timing of these. When Pim's gonna like look at them, and then kind of like almost painfully say, "Dream that as soon as I did that fight, and then we've located the sword of Sargrim. It's almost like a bad omen." The sun went away as soon as Oni Pam was, around, so. Absolutely.
Interesting. It's just like writing some stuff down. So, generally emotionless.
Are you sure that these are dreams and they're not visions?
Well, they could be just about anything. So it's kind of hard to understand that. But it sounds to me like that was a real battle. If that's an omen of things to come, I don't know. If it's your brain playing make-believe, it's possible. Although, I imagine that you wouldn't just dream up these events, not having known about them.
Oni Pam's gonna kind of like sigh in relief a little bit on hearing that, but also like worried.
I don't know what to expect. We'll have to see what more we can find out. If Ricard and Seminor and Cena come back, we can speak to them, see what they have to say. But for now, we could probably use some rest.
As long as I don't get any more visions. How did he have?
Alright. So, yeah, you guys finish your conversation and kind of just hang out in Eden once again. Just kind of hoping and praying that the rest of your party members come back.
Also, the other thing's friendly.
Well,
No,
I
one of
maybe at least Cena. Keep them safe. Hopefully, someone.
All right. So, Silmanor, Ricard, and Cena, your journey takes much longer to return. Probably an extra week on foot.
Well, we still have the horses.
yeah, they still have
Oh,
one.
okay.
They brought
Yeah.
horses.
So then maybe a week and a half, we'll say.
How much time did it take them? Did they take teleport or?
No, we
Both.
took a boat. It was like a week.
Okay.
We
So
can map out the specific times. Like,
yeah,
Okay.
I'm just guesstimating right now.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Pretty much. So you guys return to Eden.
I'd say, like, on our way back to Eden, I asked, do you think you'll be discussing arrive in this form?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm trying to think of what I could prepare to give more grounds to your claims. I'm thinking,
While we're, before we, basically as we're walking into Eden, I'm gonna do my changeling ability and just for free cast Fortune's Favor.
Okay. So
as long as it lasts an hour.
That's why I'm gonna do it as walking into Eden.
what does that do?
Gives me advantage on one roll.
All right.
I think if I prepare some spells, I might be able to help negotiate it. So, you okay with that?
Yeah.
Alright. And we'll go to Don Strider's HQ, look for Mallory.
All right. First thing you guys do is go to his office, knock on the door, and door swings open. Mallory is standing there, arms crossed. Well, about time you all have showed up.
If possible, would it be all right that we had a discussion with just without the rest of our party? I'm worried that certain arguments might arise, and we'd like to get our full explanation and reasoning for actions without anything else interrupting.
He stares you guys down for a sec. Well, I suppose it's only fair. I gave them their time. So, he ushers you in.
I'll just start by just popping out the sword to show it.
He doesn't look phased.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting him to necessarily.
So, at least I can confirm all accounts of this are at least true. You did take the sword.
Yeah.
For what reason?
Amelia Sargrim, as I was telling Solare, from everyone I have talked to in Sargrim who knew her personally, was nothing but a kind, gentle, caring woman. And out here, all I have heard is she's a tyrant, killer, a warmonger. And as far as I'm concerned, and as far as I think we all know, winners write history. So, who's to say that what they have taught everyone out here is not a lie. Is a lie, I should say. That we, well, you, have been fed nothing but falsehoods, and I am here to take back the sword from those who it didn't even belong to the first place. Stealing, it's one of those of how much is stealing if you're stealing from thieves.
When we joined the Dawn Striders, we were under the impression that we would be allowed to make the decisions of what is right and what is wrong on our own, without any worry of tarnishing the Dawn Striders' reputation, as we cleared up on after one of our missions. We understand that doing the right thing does not always warrant the most positive reactions out of everyone.
He nods. No. I'm familiar with that. You have already experienced it, actually. Your first mission, if you recall. Not the most morally... what's the word?
Evident or obvious?
Yeah. But what is true about history is that that sword met the fates of many people.
So did the swords at the side on the winning.
I understand that. He's gonna call in someone, and in entering is what looks to be a professor from the School of Subterfuge. Ah, Professor. Nice of you to join us. And he nods to the professor. And the professor casts a spell.
Zone of truth.
Zone of Truth. Now, card, or if that is even what you're still going by, seeing as you are a different person, it looks like. I understand you being from Sargrim. Your views must align differently. And I'm willing to hear them out. But I want to know first and foremost what goals you have in mind and what your allegiance is to us.
My goals are to... Everyone says Amelia Sargrim is dead. I don't believe that. My goals, find out that is true, false, whatever it is, find out what happened to her, where she is, whether find out the truth about the situation, who she is, what has happened, what people say, what people have done, and everything in between.
He looks a little bit surprised at you thinking, or at you saying that you think she's alive. And what makes you think that? What makes you think she's still alive?
Because how long ago did she allegedly die?
Jesus.
1,500 years.
1,500 years ago? Because, well, didn't in my session 0, didn't the guy at the bar know her? That one?
Yes.
Yeah. There,
Remember the year.
Huh?
Remember the year.
yeah. But I'm guessing less than 1,500 years ago.
No.
While I was in Sargrim, I went to a bar that she would frequent. And in there, the owner personally knew her. Here is a painting on the wall of two of them, many other people, just smiling, having a good time. He fondly recounted memories of her hanging out there, and that just one day he disappeared.
He looks over to the professor and just kind of glances, and the professor nods, kind of signaling that this is all coming from truth so far.
And even then, so for her being alive, who's to say that, I'll say, founder of Eden was also from Sargrim? Who's to say that the two of them didn't even just discuss and decide that for her to be on the losing end, to make at least someone from Sargrim be in the limelight, have a good ending, if you will, and that so she could then live out a peaceful life. But then here we are, so centuries and centuries later, Sargrim will get blocked off. Anyone who comes from it is not necessarily seen in the best way. Maybe even within the country itself, there aren't good people. Maybe things need to change.
Just as a quick note,
Yeah.
The War of Sargrim Conquest. The War of Sargrim Conquest was the first war. The war between Sargrim and Arlen was the second one. Amelia was involved.
Yeah.
Sargrim Conquest was the one where Mora was in.
Okay.
He was funded after that.
Okay.
There it is. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what it was. Yeah. So the War of Sargrim Conquest was in 6521 to 6568, and the Sargrim Arlen War was 7358 to 7360.
Can you put these in Team Veerity chat?
They're in a book that you have, but I'm gonna do that to them.
Okay.
Of course, it's a book.
And one of our many documents that we have been given.
Solare, A Brief History.
Okay.
So, a brief history.
And I guess scratch that last part. Because there were a good amount of times afterwards.
One kid.
That's a classic thing when dealing with Eric.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Ain't that the sentence for this session?
I'm just trying to think of what. Yeah, you don't want to accidentally say something really sus, you know? Definitely think of what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I definitely would want to say something embarrassing like when I was blowing someone up.
Absolutely.
That would be awkward.
Man.
Remember the time when I was blowing Solare?
No, I don't. Okay, what about that nightmare? Yeah, okay, I'm glad you remember that.
Anyway, moving on.
So remember when me and Solmanor started to become friends? Anyways,
I think it's more than friends like that.
What 0.5 session did that happen in?
remember when Dusk Lady left?
You say you know of someone who knew Amelia Sargrim in a different light than we know her.
Yeah.
Show me.
Have illusion magic?
Does that drunkard guy look like again?
What I mean is, take me through them.
Oh.
If you can prove of their existence and of their goodwill towards Amelia, as well as if you can prove Amelia is still alive, you'll be allowed back in this guild. But if you can't prove it, I'm afraid I will have to banish you.
Alright.
Given the history that we know of Sargrim and the dangers that it has posed in the past, as well as the dangers of that sword, I can't have you anywhere near our guild, just out of precaution. And just out of precaution for your party.
I will say, it won't be an easy journey.
That's why I'm going with
Alright.
But before you go, I would like you to make amends. Even if you guys don't have to be the best of friends, I would at least like you to give her the truth as well.
I'll try.
This zone of truth is quaking.
Just in case I have, Mallory, I do have calm emotions, just in case. So if you see me suddenly spellcast when things get heated, that's what's going on.
There will be no need for that, Summonor. Thanks.
Sumanor.
If everything is as you say it is with Nard, it would be valuable for Onipam to know it as well, and to see it. I'll have Onipam and Lilith join us here in a few moments. So, a few moments pass, Mallory steps out. He enters back in with the two of you. Onipam, you see Summonor and Sina, as well as a face you don't recognize.
Do you still have the sword out?
No, but then
Okay.
I'll pop it out and say, "Sup, bitch."
You have a pointed over.
No. Let's kind of like me on Emil's side. I assume.
Yeah.
On the other side.
No.
It's a friendly
No.
agreement.
Yeah.
Whoa,
No.
And Mallory's got his hands out, both of you.
Oh.
Listen, I know you two are at odds right now, but for the sake of this guild, and for the sake of my health, my mental health, I can't have you two fighting like this. I need you both to come clean to each other, just as you have to me. Guys don't have to like each other in the end, but you both deserve to know each other's truth.
The Zone of Truth is still activated.
Yes.
Sominar, who the heck is this guy? What did he do to Ricard? Is he the owner with the sword?
Sure. Let's take this one step at a time.
Hey buddy, how's it going?
Instead of Ricard, this
Yeah, I'll transform back into Ricard, and then transform back into Emil.
do you like to-
Internet dial-up sound.
do you want to introduce your true name?
You can call me Emil.
So, then you're the same as Ricard, but you can change?
We've seen changelings in the past.
Sorry, I can't register any changeling that I've taken note of.
Well, the archives must be incomplete then.
They
All the Oni Pam's archives are complete.
they're in shambles right now. But you have the sword. Pam's gonna put her dagger away, but keep her shield up and kind of fly into the room.
It is fine. Everything's gonna be fine.
It's also only half a sword.
That's why I'm like,
That doesn't look like the sword I remembered killing me.
Let's move
Well-
away from that topic.
Well,
It's
it's in half, so
touchy.
it's a very interesting subject, but it's a very touchy one.
also actually, quick question: while we're in Eden, probably when we would have entered Eden, I would have just done the whole thing, see which more direction, if it's more like
Oh, yeah.
west or if it's more like southwest still.
Another line.
Still pretty southwest.
Still southwest. All right.
Ah.
All right. I have a guess of what like it is.
Continues.
Hmm.
Alright. Anyways.
He's mad at me.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's fine. We're doing group therapy already. We can do DM
Yeah.
therapy too.
All I really want to know from you, Emil,
Whichever one of those.
will you be using that sword against me like it has been in the past?
Are you gonna make me use it against you?
Pam's gonna puff her cheeks up. That's what that means.
Onipam, I think a straight answer would help with, getting your own answers.
Well, I want the sword returned back, and so I can be safe.
The sword will not be returned back.
Okay, which is more... how about that other part? Not the return part. You said you want to be safe. If what Emil is saying, has said, is that what he does with the sword in regards to your own safety is dependent on what you do. So he wants to know, are you going to do something that will provoke him into using it? Yes or no?
No.
Then you're fine.
It's like that one guy at the lie detector just... That's true.
No, well. Alright, well, we were brought here because you were going to finally explain things.
So, as I've told Silmanor and Mallory at this point, yeah, and Cena, who's there. Amelia Sargrim, the one that I have been told about in Sargrim, seen paintings of, talked to someone who knew her personally, is not anything that I've heard, but she is like ever since I have left.
So, you mean to tell me you took the sword to find the truth about Amelia Sargrim?
Part of it.
Well, from what I saw of her in battle, she didn't seem all nice and cheerful.
From what you saw? What are you talking about?
But
Did Onipan?
yeah,
Mentioned a dream.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or, no, the vision. It's not a dream. Important.
Dream.
It's a vision.
Or dream.
Stop saying that.
It might be a dream.
It might. No. Why does everyone keep saying that? Oh, man.
Okay. Well, I'd say, regardless of any sort of, motive before a conflict, no one is who they truly want to be in war. As the great Baron of Tokage knows that war makes monsters of us all. To level your sword at anyone who threatens your cause is merely the nature of it.
Also, if you only just saw a brief bit of it, you don't know you don't know everything that led up to that point.
As much as I don't want to see Amelia Sargrim in any form again, at least there is another lead that we've all ran into here in Eden that would know about Amelia Sargrim. Now, I don't know where we'd be able to find Alistair, the Prince of Trickery or whatever he was, but he was also in my vision as well, and we've seen him recently. So if there is someone that can answer your question, it would be to find him again.
Potentially, yes.
Unless you already knew that.
Moving.
Say something, please! Don't have truth! Please! Please, don't stare at me!
Okay.
I know they're connected.
There.
Moving the discussion forward, is there anything else that is left unsaid that needs to be known by either of you two? Sorry, Mallory, I'm kind of...
You're gonna be a bitch again?
Are you gonna be a secretive hoe again?
I said things when we got there.
I said things too when we got there.
You gave me an ominous message before watch.
I was tired.
Okay. Is there any large topics that need to be heard from the other party?
I don't realistically seeing myself joining you again on another adventure.
Oh, you ready to go to Sargrim?
Tomorrow?
Yep, Onipen is going to listen to that already.
I won't force you to come along if you don't want.
Yeah.
Sigh of relief. Though there would be a lot of answers potentially from going on the rest of this journey, I have valued my own safety while going on these adventures. And to make sure that I don't do anything that would have that sword turned against me, distancing myself would be the safest course of action.
No, it might not change your mind,
Before you go.
but if it reassures you in any way, I will be going along with them on their journey to Sargrim. And
Okay.
if you have enough faith in your party members who aren't immune to protect you, I think getting the answers that you desire would be very valuable.
Just before you go ahead and make any rash actions, please, both of you, a talk could help.
I'm not apologizing.
That's enough for me.
I'll give you a little bit to think about it, Onipam. But if your heart still lies here in Eden, at least let me know by the end of the week.
Wait, hold up. We have established that we all can speak Draconic, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So in Draconic, I'm like, I approve.
I laugh.
laughs in Draconic.
Yeah, laughs in the climate.
Laughs in
I can just
Draconic.
tell you're laughing. Like I can't hear it. Like I can just tell.
I don't know what, but I can tell it's laughter.
Or just laughter in Draconic doesn't sound like laughter. It's just.
Listen, butthead.
Mallory will give you one last pat on the head, Onipam. He'll walk out. I'll go speak to the bishop and clear things up and have them sent back to Veerity and tell them that I've got things covered from here. For the rest of you, we'll leave at the end of the week. So, take some time, process everything that has gone on. We can talk about your reward for actually fulfilling your previous quest. And we will reconvene then.
Thank you. Well, group, let's take some time to ourselves, and we can reconvene right before. Make sure we have any supplies that we need for the journey.
You know what would help with that? Payment.
That is so. Well, I'm glad you guys made it out okay.
I can agree with that.
Summoner just kind of looks to the rest of the group, is like, well, see ya. And then
I also leave.
Onipam's gonna look out the window.
Alright, I think that's a good place to stay.
Yeah.
Yay for group therapy!
We're still technically together.
Do
we
also level up.
Yeah.
Therapy!
Your betrayal was worth it.
Well, thank you everyone for another episode.
Yo,
See you in the next one.
therapy, let's go!
We got that therapy XP.